Hi folks, thought I'd do a little update on the Allen Mogul. I did some work last night. I've been playing with some scraps of aluminum that I had, and I went ahead and cleaned them up. I sawed them and milled them down to size. This one here is about 3/4 inch square aluminum by about 1.25 inches long. And what I'm going to do, this is going to be the base mounting for this brass rod, which will be my prop rod for the lid of the locomotive. And I don't know if you can see this very well or not, but I'm going, eventually, the last operation I'll do on this piece is to saw out this notch. And so that will allow me to run the rod through where my thumb is, through a hole. I'm going to drill either a 5/32 or 3/16 inch hole through here, through the center, and about 1/4 inch up from the bottom of the piece here. And that'll be the rod that, the hole that the brass rod will go through. It'll go through here. I'm going to bend it here, and so it'll bend up like an L shape. It'll go through. It'll be bent once when it goes through, and bent again, so actually like a U shape with the longest piece towards me. And that way it'll be able to pivot up and down. The only other machining that'll have to go on the block is I'm going to drill and tap a couple 5/32, number 540 holes here, so it can bolt to the side of the locomotive cab. So that'll be the base and pivot block. This piece here is just going to be a rest. I'm going to drill and tap a couple holes in where the little dots are there on the side so that I can mark and mount this resting piece support. So once the rod is through here, bent into a small U shape, it'll come back down, and I'll mill a little trough in this piece and then round it, make it prettier, so it won't catch an edge or anything. But just a place to rest the prop rod. And then this piece is basically just rough cut right now, but I'm going to drill and tap a couple of number 540 holes in there, and I'll drill a through hole here where this large circle is, and this will be the upper mounting piece inside that'll get bolted to the roof of the cab through here once I find the appropriate spot. So if I haven't lost you yet, here's the little sketch I did. What I'm going to do is put these pieces down here, and I'll raise the lid and try to show you what I'm talking about. Hopefully I'll mill these out, mill them and drill them and tap them in the next couple of days and mount them to the cab, and then I'll show it when it's finished. So here's the shot again, lifting up the lid inside. The red stripe here is where the back wall of the cab, back bulkhead is. You can see what you don't want is if the steam header bar is across here and there's controls there, you don't want anything in the way. I was originally thinking about putting the prop rod in the center, but the gauge is going to be sticking up. It needs to be off to the side. So the first piece I showed you will get bolted to the side here. The brass rod will pivot in it. The resting piece will be bolted somewhere in here underneath the ledge by the window. And the last piece I showed you that had the semicircle shape to it will be bolted up here somewhere, wherever the prop rod gives me a nice opening. So hope that makes sense. Thanks for watching this so far, and I will keep you posted.